Hey beauties, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Wani May. I'm a self-taught makeup artist and hairstylist specializing in all things fabulous. Today's video is going to be a little different. I decided that I wanted to get myself together while I talk about some trending topics. So grab a snack or your curling iron because we're going to be getting into JT and Megan's latest releases, the largest global IT tech outage, some viral TikToks, and DJT. All right, so let's get started. I put my contacts in off camera. All of the products that I will be using will be listed below in the description box. I'm going to start with skincare and then share my thoughts on JT's mixtape. Yesterday, JT dropped her mixtape called City Cinderella. Now, she did clarify that it is a mixtape and not an album. It does feature 16 songs and it's about 40 minutes long. I did listen to the full album in one sitting. I'll go ahead and put the album art over here. Lipfidence, if you know, you know. I'm going to be using some eye cream. But here's the album cover. I think it's beautiful. I love it. I think it is very fitting for the theme. I know there was some controversy surrounding the cover because people were saying it was like Beyonce inspired, but I really don't have any opinions on that. I think it looks good, period. As far as the music goes, it was really good. I did not expect to like it, to be honest. Some of my favorite songs from the album were Brick Talk, Sideways, JT Comin', Star of the Show, and OK Remix. Now, OK was great before Jeezy got on it, but I think Jeezy just added a little razzle dazzle, and I was here for it. All of her beats were fire, and I feel that they complemented her tone, her voice, her cadence. I will say, I was expecting some club bangers, like at least one song that would make me want to get up and dance, but that didn't happen. However, Megan Thee Stallion's self-titled album, Megan, I think it was chef's kiss. It had quite a few turn-up songs. I consider myself an OG hottie that has kind of fallen off. And this album, I think, reminds me of Tina Snow the most. And I love Tina Snow. That was my favorite Megan era. I hate that she gets so much hate because, controversy aside, she's a really talented artist and she's a really good writer. She really showed her versatility with this album, in my opinion. Some of my favorite songs from Megan's album were Where Them Girls At, BAS, Otaku Hot Girl, Find Out. I'm not sure if I'm saying it right, but Mamushi. And I truly feel Moody Girl because I can relate so bad. I am starting to feel like I'm getting too old for this music. Like, I turned 27 this year and the music just not hitting the way it used to. I came across both JT and Megan when I was in college, and I'm definitely not the same Wani that I was in college. I know I'm not that old and I'm in the same age range as some of the girlies, but it's starting to get repetitive. I'm kind of tired of the over-sexualized lyrics. Honestly, hip-hop isn't my favorite genre anymore, but I really love supporting the rap girlies, so there's that. So let's switch gears a bit. Yesterday morning when I woke up, the first thing I saw on the news was everything about the tech outage. It was crazy to me because it was impacting businesses worldwide. Like, this was a global issue, not a national thing. So not only were consumers impacted, but businesses were impacted. So I'm going to play a clip from CNN and I'm going to react to it. So one second.
All right, and the breaking news this morning. This is a live look at the airport in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. There might be some reporters and Politico types in there. They're trying to get out of Milwaukee, but right now Milwaukee is just like almost every other airport, on Earth right now. Airports all around the world, businesses, so many different institutions being affected right now by this IT.
If I was traveling yesterday, I would be pissed.
Outage, this major glitch. So a short time ago, we got a sense of what is causing this. The CEO of CrowdStrike, cybersecurity firm, says that a content update to its software triggered outages within Windows. And of course, Windows is the most widely used computer operating system in the world.
How convenient.
CrowdStrike insists this is not a security incident or a cyber attack. It's just bad. It is packing a wallop. Airports, airlines, businesses, stock exchanges, the metro in D.C. Anyone trying to get on a computer in these places overnight, they were seeing that blue screen of death on their monitors. So many are still experiencing issues.
You see,
yeah, as a consumer, I would be very frustrated with this situation. I want to add another video because it's not the one that I thought it was. This one has more interactions with the people waiting. So
airlines, hospitals, businesses around the world, banks as well, reeling from a massive tech outage. Just minutes ago, Charlotte Douglas International Airport, an American Airlines hub, told flyers, do not come to the airport unless you have already confirmed your flight is going to take off. You can see here just how backed up airports are right now. Look at those crowds, all waiting for their flight. Cybersecurity firm CrowdStrike says this is partly due to a software update, not a hack, but this is what has happened because of it.
They're saying it's not a hack, and I really want to believe that it's not a hack, but let's be for real.
It's all about crippling its Microsoft Windows customers after this issue happened in tech. We have team coverage around the world, as you might imagine. Isabel Rosales is at the world's busiest airport, Atlanta's Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, and Anna Stewart in Heathrow Airport in the UK. Let's start, though, with CNN's Tom Foreman, who is in Washington, D.C. Tom, what is going on with the systems? They're saying that they are back working, but the crowds indicate that it's not helping them much.
CrowdStrike is saying the key issue has been identified. We have a quote from the CEO where he talked about the notion that
now these videos are from yesterday. Today is Saturday, and there are airlines that are still having issues. So just keep that in mind.
basically we've identified this one thing. It wasn't terrorism. It wasn't a security incident or a cyber attack, but they've identified and they have isolated this one thing that they have to deal with here, and that's being updated around the world right now.
So again, I really do hope it wasn't an act of terror or a cyber attack, but this is really scary, and here's why. We as people have become very dependent on technology. As they already said, this outage impacted banks, hospitals, whole governments. So again, whether this was truly caused by an update or not, it was really scary because it highlights how vulnerable we are to cyber attacks. In the description box, I'm going to leave a link to an article that goes over the top 10 scariest cyber attacks from 2023, just to show you like the severity of some of these issues. This is a new day and age. Wars will not be fought the way they used to be fought. They're going to be fought using technology, and this is really scary because we are on the verge of World War III. Let's transition into something a little bit less serious. Before I start bond curling my hair, I just want to mention that the hair is from Honey Hair Co. It is the raw Indian curly, and I have the lengths 22, 20, and 18. So there's these two viral stories from TikTok that I kind of want to talk about. First, apparently Hello Kitty is not a cat. Now this is news to me. Now this is news to a lot of us, and it's kind of ironic because we're finding this out because of the upcoming 50th anniversary of Hello Kitty. I'm going to insert this clip and we'll go from there.
We are here because it is Hello Kitty's 50th anniversary. Yes. My first question is Hello Kitty a cat?
So Hello Kitty is not a cat.
Like,
she's actually a little girl, born and raised in the suburbs of London. She has a mom and dad and a twin sister, Mimi, who's also her best friend. She enjoys baking cookies and making new friends.
Cinnamon roll? Your cinnamon roll looks kind of like you.
She's kind of a tiny little girl, right?
Yeah, she weighs 3 apples and she's 5 apples tall.
And her world is large. She has her own pet cat, Charmy Kitty, a boyfriend, Dear Daniel, and hundreds of other friends.
I honestly feel bamboozled at this point because how are we just now finding out that Hello Kitty is not a cat? Why is she trying to gaslight us? And then to find out she's from London when I really thought she was Asian is just like, I'm not about to let them ruin my childhood In my eyes, Hello Kitty is a cat. Thank you, next. This woman went viral on TikTok for talking about how women don't wear heels to the club anymore. I'm going to play her video now.
I don't know what's happening to club culture, but the girlies are not wearing heels in the clubs anymore. And as a 34-year-old, I know I don't look my age, but as a 34-year-old, do we need to come out of retirement and teach the girls how to wear heels, or like what heels you need to shop for when going out in the club? Because the amount of flats and sandals that I saw is just like, part of the thrill of going to the club is dancing on the couch in your heels. You got to figure out how to strengthen those ankles so you don't break them. Like how to maneuver. Like it's a rite of passage. I feel like you don't appreciate wearing a flat if you aren't dancing on the couch in the club. I don't know, y'all. There's just something about a cute little heel. You know, you just we gotta figure it out. We gotta bring heel culture back to the clubs, because what are y'all doing? What's going on? What are y'all even doing? What's the purpose of going to the club if you're not gonna dress up?
Personally, I'm going to wear heels to the club, or at least I'm going to dress up. If I owned a club, I would enforce a dress code, kind of like they did back in the day, or in certain cities. On the other side, I can understand just simply wanting to be comfortable, because when you go out, you're typically out for like a few hours. So who wants to be uncomfortable for literally hours? I honestly feel like clubbing isn't as fun as it used to be. It's just a lot of flexing. Like no one dances. It's all about seeing who's wearing what, popping bottles. And this is coming from me. Like I used to be a bottle girl. So clubbing just isn't it, in my opinion. And I don't really go out that much anyway, but if I do step out, I'm definitely dressing up and I'm wearing heels. I take pride in wearing heels because when I was younger, I used to be really self-conscious about my height. I'm 5'8", and I was always on the taller side. Like I'm not the tallest, but I was always on the taller side. So when I wore heels, I would always stick out because nobody wanted to wear heels. And I was already super tall, but I let that go a long time ago. And now I will wear heels any chance I get. The TikTok streets were not feeling this lady. They were eating her up. I'm going to play some of the clips.
I play that shit.
Stiletto pumps in the club.
You guys are some bullies, for real. Let that girl wear whatever shoes she wants to the club, and you do the same. Wear whatever shoes you want to and mind your business. We can all get along.
That lady say y'all ain't wearing heels in the club, but then pulled up to the club like,
I don't know if you guys noticed, but I was struggling curling my hair because the cord from my wand is super short. So instead, I'm just going to do a voiceover while you guys watch me do the rest of my hair. But back to the TikToks, they did not have to be so mean to that lady. Like the TikToks went on, and her comment section was hilarious. As I already mentioned, heels are always going to be my first choice if I'm dressing up. I'm also from up north. And from my personal experience, the people down south don't usually step the way the people up north do. As a Gen Zer, I think I have this perspective because I was born in 97 and I'm almost a millennial. My siblings are way older than me and I was always around older people. But since we're speaking of older people, I like to transition into the final topic. Last but not least, President Donald Trump. In all seriousness, I know this is a sensitive topic and I really don't want to get too political on this channel. So I'm going to keep my thing brief. By now, I'm sure everyone knows what happened last Saturday, but I'll still recap. Last Saturday, former President Trump held a rally in Pennsylvania, and there was an attempt on his life. The attacker was identified as 20-year-old Thomas Matthew Crooks. Peep this.
The Departments of Justice and Homeland Security will hold a briefing this afternoon with House lawmakers on the assassination attempt of former President Donald Trump. Before that, the agencies will brief senators. Investigators still have not identified the gunman's motive, and this happens as investigations into the Secret Service are being conducted by Homeland Security and the FBI. CBS News has obtained new video showing snipers on the roof behind Trump before the gunman started shooting. CBS News correspondent Charlie DeMar is on the ground for us in Butler, Pennsylvania, following the investigation. Charlie, what's the latest?
Well, one of the biggest questions that we have is what happened with Donald Trump once he left the rally here. We've all seen the images of Donald Trump being surrounded by Secret Service, whisked off the stage. He was taken to Butler Memorial Hospital, but we still have a lot of questions from the doctors, his medical team that treated him here. We still haven't heard from them about the extent of the injuries, how he was treated, what treatment that he was given. And today there is video circulating online from people who were inside the emergency room as Donald Trump and all of that law enforcement arrived at the hospital. Obviously, to their surprise, quite a commotion at the hospital. A pretty dramatic moment as people in the hospital saw the president, who had just been shot in his ear, walk in.
And Charlie, analysis of video footage and mapping imagery by CBS News found that there was a tree between the sniper team over Trump's right shoulder and the shooter, and that possibly impaired the sniper team's line of sight. Explain more about what we're looking at here.
And from that analysis from CBS News' reporting, we've all seen that image of the sniper on the right side of former President Donald Trump. We are told that he did not take that fatal shot of the 20-year-old shooter. And analysis of that video shows that there was a tree in between his shots. So he did not have a clean shot. It was snipers on the other side of former President Donald Trump who took that fatal shot. But initially, they were directed in a different way, so they had to reorient themselves before they were able to take that fatal shot.
And then there are still more questions about the Secret Service, and the Department of Homeland Security's Inspector General has opened a probe into the Secret Service's decision-making. Charlie, how many investigations are now taking place, and how might they impact policy?
There are a lot of investigations, more as the days go on. Of course, President Biden called for that independent review of the Secret Service and how this was able to happen. Next week, lawmakers will have a chance to grill the director of the Secret Service, Kim Cheadle. And earlier on Fox News, the Speaker of the House, Mike Johnson, called for an investigation into the Secret Service, also called for Director Cheadle to step down and resign from her post.
All right. And of course, there is one man, Corey Competor, who did not make it, and two others who were severely wounded there in Butler County. We're thinking of all of them and their families. Charlie, thank you.
There's a lot of controversy surrounding this incident, and I'm not even going to get into all of it. All we can do is wait for information as it comes. Regardless of whether it was staged or who planned it, this is serious and scary. I cannot imagine the chaos that would have erupted if the attacker was successful. My people tend to joke a lot, but I think we should educate ourselves so we can make informed decisions. Someone lost their life and people were injured. I think we should have some empathy. I also just hate that the current director of the Secret Service is a woman, because I just know this is going to turn into a debate about women's competencies and if they should have certain jobs. But anyway, a few days after the attack, former President Trump named junior senator from Ohio, J.D. Vance, as his pick for vice president. This election season has been so messy, and I say this because J.D. Vance has publicly talked trash about Trump in the past. I think I saw where he tried to walk it back by saying he blames the media for his perspective, but don't quote me. I don't know much about Senator J.D. Vance, but he is a good-looking guy. I first peeped him at the RNC, but I didn't know who he was. But yes, the Republican National Convention was also held this past week in Milwaukee, where former President Trump accepted the GOP nomination as president for the third time. There were a lot of celebrities in attendance. Take a look. I don't like how it feels like you must pick a side. Like, politics is causing so much divisiveness in America. It is actually scary. But that photo that was captured after Trump was pow-powed was honestly very inspiring. I'm not choosing sides, but it looks like there will be a Republican in the White House next year. Sips tea. But what do y'all think? Do y'all think Biden is going to step down or drop out of the race? In my opinion, we just need to reshuffle the whole entire deck. If you made it this far in the video, I'd like to thank you for watching. Please like the video and tell me your thoughts and opinions on the topics I went over today. If this video does well, maybe I can do more of these, or I can expand some of my thoughts on the more serious topics. We are on the road to 500 subscribers, so if you're feeling the vibe, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. I'm going to be doing a wig giveaway once we get to 500 subscribers, and you don't want to miss it. I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye.
Your father.